Hi guys, if you don't want to spend thousands of pounds on your training, this channel is for you. There's lots of makeup tutorials and hair tutorials where I go through everything step by step with all my products and techniques, and you can definitely take something away if you're in the makeup industry. Now, what I would like you to do is, if you can, is subscribe to my channel and always like and share a comment please, because these videos do take up a lot of time and really difficult to create, and I would really absolutely love it if you could just show some love and support on my videos. I've just started off with the eyebrows here. Now I'm going in with my e.l.f. brow wax. Now not everyone likes using this product, but I actually think it's really nice. Now my model here had quite sparse eyebrows from the front of the eyebrows, but I didn't fill them in too much, so what I did is I just used my e.l.f. brow wax, and then what I did is filled them in slightly later on once I kind of knew how I wanted to frame the face. Now I'm going in with concealer. I'm using a flat synthetic brush, and I'm using the Too Faced concealer here. Sometimes I use a base which is like P. Louise base, but that is a lot thicker, and sometimes I like to use concealer because it's just easier to blend. So I'm going around the eyebrows here, making sure I use enough product to cover the lid. It looks like a lot of product, but it's not that much either, so I do end up buffing quite a bit of it away. So you don't want too much product here either, and you could actually use a lot less as well if you wanted to, but this does actually make your makeup last all day. So I'm using a fluffy brush just to blend out the edges, because if you leave that while I'm doing the eyeshadow, you will find that that does start to set and it doesn't blend well, and you'll be able to see it once you apply your foundation. So blend that out, tap over your eyes, and then I start tapping in my eyeshadow. Now I went for quite a dramatic look today. This was actually starting off as a very simple nude glam, and then I just thought, you know, I haven't done a colourful look for a while, let's just do this so I can show you guys. Anyway, I went in with a deep purple colour first. I've tapped it on onto the outer corners, and then I'm blending it out with a slightly lighter purple. So just to get your blend right, I mean, you could go for like browns occasionally, I would do that, but normally the darker colour, if you are using something like a green or a purple or a blue, blend it out with a lighter version of the same colour that you've used, so in the same family. So that actually makes your blending a lot easier. There was a lot of back and forth here, so I went in with the darker colour, then I went in with the lighter colour, and then I did a bit of back and forth. Also then I wanted to just tone the purple down to this kind of maroony purpley colour, so I went back in the socket area and reinforced that colour, and then went over blending it out with a slightly pinker toned eyeshadow now. So all these steps actually make a difference to your eye makeup, so you could have actually just gone in with the second two colours I've used. However, the build up and the different colours that I've used is actually what creates the eye makeup look. So once I've done that, I've used like a matte cream eyeshadow, and I've popped that onto the lids, and I've patted that on, and then what I do is I go back into the socket area and blend that into that first colour that I've just added. And then once I'm happy with everything, I will go in with a little bit of shimmer. I'm using the Urban Decay Moon Dust here, and I'm just using my fingers to apply this. You can't always see this as much on camera, but it actually looks really pretty. It's just got a really nice sparkle to it. So just to give the eye some depth, I'm just going in with a small eyeliner brush, and I'm adding on a little bit of black eyeshadow, and I'm just keeping this to the base of the eyes, and then just blending it out very slightly into the outer corners and upwards slightly. Just to give the eyes a slightly more open look, I've gone in with a like nude gel eyeliner, and then I've gone on to skincare, which is my moisturizer. Just take your time when it comes to skincare. Make sure you let each product absorb into the skin before you apply your foundation and things like that, because otherwise if you get pilling, or you know where your makeup kind of like looks like it's peeling off, it's because you haven't let the products dry into the face. I added a bit of eye cream, and then I've gone in with e.l.f. Halo Glow, and this just gives you a nice glow. I didn't go too heavy with the foundation, so you could actually see this coming through. I went on for concealer. I'm just using, this concealer's from England, but I tend to use just any concealer which is like the matching shade to the skin tone, or one shade lighter, darker, sorry, just to make sure I can colour correct at the same time. Now, I actually forgot to add my primer when I was doing my skincare, so I actually added this in once I actually already had my concealer on. This still works, you just need to be careful. You can go back in and add a bit of concealer if you need to, but I made a mistake at this point. So then I went in with my foundation. So my model was actually really, really fair. She looks a little bit darker now because I've actually used the Halo Glow, which has actually got like a colour in it. So I mixed two foundations and then I used this brush to actually paint it on. So when you apply your foundation in this manner, basically it gives you really, really good coverage. Now it does look like I'm applying a lot of product, but I'm actually spreading this around the whole face and onto the neck area as well. And once I've done that, I'm going to use a damp beauty blender to actually blend this out. Now if you use too much product, what will happen is your foundation doesn't blend very well. So you need to do this in stages, and I'm doing a very thin layer. It looks a lot, but obviously it is going to be blended out really, really nicely. And you can do this in stages as well, so you could just add a little bit first and then build it up again. But you're going to blend out with your damp beauty blender until it looks really nicely blended. Take your time, it takes a few minutes to do, and you're going to do it until your foundation doesn't look too wet and everything seems to be kind of like mattifying a little bit, and that's when you're ready to go in with your contour products. So then I move on to my cream contour. So I'm using, I don't always actually do cream contour, but I think it helps with your foundation and making everything last. And I don't like a heavy contour, so I've gone in with a cream contour here and then I'm blending this out. I don't like harsh lines, but I don't blend this completely at this stage, so I'm going to blend it out a little bit. There's 10-15% left of blending, and then I'm going to go in with my concealer, blend that out, and then also when I'm adding my powders is when I'm actually completing the blend. So each stage actually has a reason that I'm doing it, and it creates the final look. So nothing is actually complete in between at this point. So I'm adding on my concealer in the points that I want to conceal, and then I'm going to blend this out as well with you can use a sponge or you can use a brush. I like using both, to be honest with you. I've gone in with the cream blush here, and what I'm doing is going to blend out the concealer first and then my blusher. These stages just help with the setting of your makeup, and again the longevity of your makeup as well, because then I'm going to set it with the powder products as well. I've gone in with my loose powder. This was Laura Mercier, and I'm using a powder puff, and this is my baking here. I don't like to bake for too long, and I don't like to use too much product either. Going in with a bit of powder contour now, and I'm just setting the areas that I used the actual cream contour before. While my powder's on, avoiding any fallout is when I actually do the under eye makeup. So I'm just taking two of the shades from before, the dark one and the light one, just to blend it out very, very slightly. I'm adding some setting mist here. I'm using the one which is Wee Sherry, and then I've gone in with my powder blusher, and then I'm going in with my highlighter as well. And my highlighter was Doll Beauty highlighter that I used. And the setting mist just brings everything back to life here. It helps with the highlighter as well because it makes it pop, but it also just brings everything back to life because you've powdered and things like that and layered so many products. It's nice just to give it that finish there. So I've just used a fluffy brush and like a fan brush for my highlighter, and then I've moved on to the lips. This was just like a neutral lip, nudie lip that I was going for, so it's just like a brown lip liner and a nude lip shade, and then we did actually add on some gloss as well at the end. So I do love adding a little bit of gloss on. Now I have decided that a lot of my tutorials will be actually all in English, so I was doing them in Urdu and in English, but what I'm going to do is just have a full tutorial in English, and then the same tutorial I'll pop up, and on the thumbnail if it says Urdu that means it's in Urdu, and if there's nothing written there the tutorial should actually be in English. I just think that might be easier because a lot of people don't like it when I'm doing the both languages, and it makes the video really long as well. Also some tutorials will just be with music and things like that because I have explained a lot of the stuff that I do in these videos. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. This was the final look. I went on to do the hair, and then I did a little bit more blending on the eyes and the blush and things like that, and we then went off to photograph the look. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do like the video, give me a comment, subscribe to my channel if you're not already doing so, and hopefully I will be back with more. Take care.